Welcome back to Unfiltered Brew, the podcast where the coffee's strong and the conversations go backstage because we've got the man behind a curtain, you guys, and a chandelier to every Broadway hit that comes through Cleveland. Craig Hassall, the CEO and president of Playhouse Square, is here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi,
Thank you for being
ladies.
here.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Craig, your career has been a definition of global stage cred. You've led two of the world's most iconic venues, the Sydney Opera House and London's Royal Albert Hall. And now you're running one of the largest performing arts theater right outside of New York, right here in downtown Cleveland. So I've got to ask, if your life was a musical, what would be the opening number be?
You know, Nora, I've never been asked that question before. Probably something from Gypsy. You know, you'll be swell, you'll be great. You know, something like
that.
a big, brassy, loud opening number.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes, I've never been the person on stage. Always been the person helping
Behind the stage, right?
Well, yeah, getting people on the stage. So I've worked, opera and theatre and ballet and now musicals.
You've seen it all.
I've seen
You've
it
the
all.
chaos,
I've seen it all.
Getting all ready.
Wow.
Like, we see the end product.
Yeah, you're lucky you don't see
Yeah,
the other bits.
Why don't you take us a little back? Like,
Sure.
what first pulled you into the performing arts world?
Yeah, so I'm actually Australian originally. So I grew up in Australia. I grew up on a farm in Australia. I went to a boarding school in Sydney. And I had two teachers who were particularly interested in the performing arts. And they took us, young, rambunctious, idiot children, boys, to see symphony and opera and theatre and contemporary dance and all sorts of things. And I had never seen anything like that. I mean, I'd never seen an orchestra on stage. I'd never seen a live show apart from a little children's show in a regional theatre.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was amazing. It opened my eyes to this magical world. And I thought for a while I wanted to be a performer or a writer. And I
Right
wrote
on stage?
Right on stage. And I did a bit of that at university. But I then realized that I probably wasn't good enough. I didn't want to drive taxis so I thought, or wait tables. So I thought, well, how can I be involved in this world and not be on stage? And one thing I've done through my career is open people's eyes to the careers that there are not on stage. And there are so many jobs that you can do in my world that aren't about performing or playing in the orchestra pit. So I ended up working in finance, of all things.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't even imagine.
I know, neither can I.
You were a numbers guy?
I was a numbers guy. I was a management. Well, I was doing a management accounting role, even though I wasn't an accountant, for the National Opera Company in Australia, which was good because I learnt about what a wig costs and what a tour costs
Which
and
is
how.
why you have the role today, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to know the composite parts of a budget. It sounds really boring, but it's like any business. If you don't know how the money works, nothing else falls into place.
Yeah.
You have to understand schedules and budgets, and once you've got that under your belt, then the world's your oyster, really.
Like understanding forecasting and how everything is managed, like
Absolutely.
that's very vital.
Yeah.
So we don't see it that way because all we show up to a play and we buy the ticket and we sit up front and we just watch the show. There's so much that goes behind a show, and it's
I'm
incredible.
sure, yeah,
It's a whole organization.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I worked at the opera, I worked in finance initially, and then I went to work in marketing. And
Really?
Once you understand the ticketing, you understand the budget and the ticketing. They're the two most
the
important things.
foundations,
Yeah, like what to charge, how to fill a house, how to build a house, how to organize ticket prices. And again, that sounds a bit dull, but it's so important, to
right.
getting those houses full. So it's
How to bring certain people in.
yeah. And also, it's a good point. You want to also provide access. You can't just have high prices and have only the wealthy folk coming along to your shows.
Yeah.
You've got to encourage people on low income, students, people who may not naturally come to the theatre to just try it out. And you won't try it out if it's expensive, but if it's, $5 or $10,
Right.
you think, well, I'll give it a go.
You want to cater to like all the audiences.
Yeah.
That's the goal at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Because you want everyone to be involved and you want
Yeah.
everyone to experience that magical moment being at the show.
Yeah, and it's less difficult at Playhouse Square because I think people love Playhouse Square and the musicals are very approachable. But, when I was working for an opera company, opera has a reputation of being in a foreign language, really long, and you need a music degree to understand it, none of which you do. And getting young audiences into opera was very difficult. But once you got them in, they loved it.
Yeah.
It's romantic, massive costumes, huge sets. It's
Very
beautiful.
elaborate show.
Very elaborate, yeah.
I've actually never been to an opera show.
I actually have in London.
You have?
I
What-
went to the London Opera House about 2 years ago.
Do you remember what you
and,
saw?
I honestly don't remember what I saw. It was my first time, so my
Wow.
cousin and I have always wanted to go. So, but it was just so like beautiful inside, like, and the way just the show went, and it was really nice.
Yeah, it's a magical night. And I mean, Sydney Opera House, of course, is a very famous
yeah.
building. And
Iconic.
in fact. But it's funny, I've worked in these iconic buildings all my life, and the challenge that one faces is these buildings are beautiful, but they're quite imposing. That you wouldn't, if you're a tourist in Sydney, I don't think you'd think, oh, I must go to an opera at Sydney Opera
Right.
House. You'd think, maybe I'll walk around the outside.
And take a quick picture and call it a day.
Then I'll run away. And they're very imposing buildings. The Royal Albert Hall in London, where I was working before Cleveland, similarly, it's beautiful, but goodness me, it has 12 doors. And do you dare walk inside? Of
Like
course
intimidating
The
almost,
Sydney
right?
one?
It's intimidating. The London one. The London one is
okay.
it's round and it has all these doors, but the doors don't say come on in. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge. Yeah.
So, given your career background, like what was the career highlight you'll never forget between working at the Sydney Opera House and then London's Albert Hall?
Well, neither of those actually. I'll tell you my career highlight, which is going to make you both swoon. I used to run English National Ballet, which is a ballet company in Great Britain, and it's a touring company. So we toured all over the world. We went to China and the Middle East and Australia and so on. And I knew IMG artists. You know, it's like IMG Sport. They look after famous golfers and famous opera stars.
Yeah.
The Paris office, I knew the woman who worked there, and she said, "Look, I'd love to bring you over to do a performance at the Palace of Versailles." Because in Versailles, I mean, it's beautiful. I think you've been there, Nora, haven't you?
Well, I was supposed to go this past trip. I was just there, but I didn't get a chance. But I've seen the pictures. It's beautiful.
It's spectacular. Yeah. Anyway, they had a problem with Parisians leaving Paris in the summer because they'd all go south or go abroad.
Right.
And you think, how can there be a problem? It's so beautiful. But it was a problem. So they wanted 3 weekends of attractions for the locals, not for tourists, but for local Parisians to stay in Paris. And one was this amazing Son et Lumière thing with fountains and fireworks, and one was this dancing horse show called Zingaro, which is beautiful, dancing horses, and one was us.
With actual horses?
With actual horses. I mean, it was
Wow.
beautiful. And one was us doing Swan Lake on a lake.
No.
So we put a stage on a lake in the gardens of the Palace of Versailles and did 3 performances of Swan Lake. It is
That
the
sounds
absolute highlight.
absolutely
It was beautiful.
stunning. I can't even imagine.
Oh, it was beautiful. And at the end, I don't know if you know the story of Swan Lake.
Yes.
Ends badly. Okay. She dies. He dies too. Anyway, they jump in the lake. And then when the prince runs down from the palace at the end of the show, they used the Hall of Mirrors as the palace. They had all the lights on in the Hall of Mirrors.
my
And he ran down from the Hall of
Can we
Mirrors.
see this on YouTube? Is it like filmed
It's probably
anywhere?
pre-YouTube. There probably some photographs somewhere.
Really?
It was beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I
so
can
that
only
was
imagine.
probably the
Have
highlight.
you been to the Versailles? Have you been to Paris?
No, I've
Definitely
never
on the
been. That
bucket
was
list.
my
We'll go
next-
together. We'll go
That was
together.
my next thing.
You have
We're
to
supposed
go.
We have to
London
go.
and Paris
Yeah, we'll go together. That's going to be on the bucket list on the next trip.
Absolutely, yes.
We're doing that. I love that.
Yeah.
I need to have some Paris croissants.
Oh, they're the
Oh,
best.
Been on my mind.
Well, he
Yeah.
sent me like a whole list of
That's
to-dos
right.
for London and Paris, so we know who to call.
Yeah, so when you
Yes.
go, next time I'll give my
You can
London
come with
list.
us.
Yeah.
I'd love to come with you. I'd
Yeah.
be a tour
We should
guide.
plan. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, guys, we're going to Paris with Craig next 2026. Stay tuned.
There we are. There's a
We're going to do
date.
an episode in Paris.
We'll do a podcast from the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so awesome.
Wouldn't that be great?
I would love that.
It's possible.
So now that we're
Good. So I was gonna ask you, what brought you to Cleveland and Playhouse Square? What made you
Sure.
think I want to go to Cleveland?
Okay, well, full disclosure, I didn't know where Cleveland was, and I'd never planned to work in the United States. You know, my whole life was in Europe and in
Yeah.
Australia, and it was after COVID, and I had this phone call from a search firm, and often you get these calls going,
Yeah.
hey, and they kind of phrase it like, oh, I'm just ringing to see if you know anybody who might be interested in working in Stuttgart or something, and you go, oh, not really. They mean you, of course, but
Right.
they can't really say that. So this person, she was quite direct. She's now a great friend of mine, actually, and rang me. I didn't know who she was, and she's from Atlanta, and said, now, Craig, you don't know me, but I'm ringing because I have an opportunity for you in Cleveland, Ohio. Don't hang up. Just
Don't
hear
hang
me.
up.
Don't hang up.
Don't hang up.
Don't-
Don't hang
Yeah.
up. I know. What about that? Hear me out. I said, yeah, okay. Anyway, she talked at Playhouse Square and so on. I'd never heard of Playhouse Square. Anyway, finished the call. I said to my assistant, Marion. I said, "Oh, Marion, you won't believe it. I had this bizarre call from a headhunter in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States, and she wants me to think about going to run this place in Cleveland, Ohio." And she said, "Oh, darling, you can't possibly do that. That's what
It's like, do you mean Iowa?
Then she said, "Where exactly is that?" I said, "I'm not absolutely sure. I think it's on the West Coast. I think it's near San Diego somewhere, but I'll have to check. I think it's definitely on the ocean." That was me. I had no idea.
Are you serious? Well, we do kind of have
Well, we have our own ocean.
Yes, which is, I think it's better than the ocean. Now,
Right.
I'm a total convert,
Yeah.
of course, now I'm here. So I thought about it. And, it was funny. After COVID, everyone was ready for a change, I think, because it had been such a gloomy time for the whole world. And the Royal Albert Hall, where I was, we had reserves, but we'd run them down to keep our staff employed. It was tricky, and we'd done lots of behind closed doors concerts and so on. And so I kind of thought that it'd probably be 5 more years of the same once we reopened, doing great concerts and things. But I thought, well, why not? So I agreed to come across and have a look around, and I met some of the trustees who were all lovely, and I saw the theatres. And honestly, I say this now, and it's absolutely true. The 2 things that swung me to come here were the attitude of the trustees, which were just super positive and very glass half full, and the theatres, which are beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful,
I mean,
yeah.
you guys know that.
Stunning. Stunning.
work of art. It's a work of art. People that come to
Magical.
Cleveland.
You walk in there and you feel like you're just in this world. Like you're not in Cleveland.
Yeah,
But you just, I don't know. I just feel so like happy when I'm in there.
Yeah,
You know?
they're magical. You're right. They're magical places. Yeah.
The architecture, the interior design, it's absolutely stunning. You feel like you go back in time in a way.
You really do.
Right?
And also, practically, as performance spaces, they are brilliant for the audiences and for the performers. They're great to perform in and great to watch performances in. So what else do you need?
Yeah, and like a lot of people miss like attending the Playhouse Square when they visit Cleveland. Like I have to make a point. Like I went to school right down the street from Playhouse Square, and back then I never thought I used to pass right by Playhouse Square's like Connor Palace almost like at least once a week, like trying to grab food on Euclid, and I never thought to myself to walk in there. And then when I first did, I'm like, why haven't I been here sooner?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a similar problem to the Sydney Opera House and the Royal Albert Hall. Yeah. They're very
intimidating.
It's intimidating, and we have these new marquees. You probably noticed,
the new
which
marquees, stunning.
are designed to basically say, "Come on
in," right?
Yeah.
Those digital displays were actually made a huge difference on just the overall like the way the real estate looks on Euclid now.
Totally.
It's so inviting and bright, and
it's interesting from a tourism point of view. They should be higher on the agenda, but the challenge is, unlike the Rock Hall or the Art Museum, you generally can't just wander in and buy the best tickets because they've already been sold.
Sold out, yeah.
You know, we're a victim of our own success. We average about 92% full across the year. So you can get a ticket if you're organized.
Yeah.
But for some of the Broadway shows, like Hamilton, I mean,
Sold out
it's sold out. Cleveland has a great consumption for culture.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
So tell me, while we're talking about Cleveland and Playhouse Square, why is Playhouse Square so unique and different from all the other theaters, like New York, Broadway, or anywhere in the world? What makes it so special?
Gosh, well, the first thing at the theaters themselves, and to give you an example, we take donors from Playhouse Square to Broadway and occasionally London to show them around, and go to see shows and various things. And we get the best seats in the house, and we get access backstage, we meet the stars and all of these things. And they love it, but they complain about the bathrooms and the lobbies and the seats and the aisles are small. And, you just forget, they're so spoiled by Playhouse Square. So the first thing is the theaters are excellent. They're comfortable, they're well kept, they're renovated, they're terrific. That's the first thing. The second is there are so many of them. We have 5 100-year-old theaters and then another kind of 8 or 9 venues in about 2 city blocks. So the concentration of venues is like nothing else in the country. I don't know of any other collection of theaters in the United States that has that kind of critical mass of audiences in one place. And because of that, you have a critical mass of people around 7:30 every night, except Mondays. So the buzz is terrific as well. And probably I'd say also, as I said, that just the consumption of the Cleveland population is disproportionately high.
Yeah.
If you think, what's the population in Cleveland? 380,000 or something in the city of Cleveland?
Something like
it's
that.
not,
I think
it's
even
not
a
that
little
much.
less. I think a little
In
less
the
than
city
that.
of Cleveland? I think it's 20,000.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
residents.
residents,
Yeah,
right.
That's right
Yeah.
downtown. But
Yeah.
I think Cleveland
As a
Oh,
whole.
it's
has
out.
about
I
a
don't
few
know.
hundred
I didn't
thousand.
even-
But then Greater Cleveland has maybe 5 or 6 million
Yeah.
people. But we have the highest number of season ticket holders in the country.
Wow.
Wow.
It's
I
like
didn't know that.
40,000. Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's
Incredible.
amazing.
More than LA,
Wow.
more than Chicago, more
than
than
New
DC,
York?
more than New York.
Wow.
Yeah, and so Clevelanders love theatre,
the
and
show,
not just our Broadway shows. You know, we have 8 resident companies.
Yep. The local shows.
The local shows, the
ballet,
Great Lakes,
Cleveland Ballet.
the Cleveland Ballet is fantastic. Film Festival, the Jazz Festival.
Yeah, the Jazz Fest just happened.
Cleveland
like 3 days
Playhouse
ago.
is
Yep.
great. They did a Fiddler on the Roof the other day. I was
Yeah.
crying, you know. Oh, so good. I mean, crying because it was good, not because it was bad.
Right.
Yeah, it was the show was fantastic. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you guys are doing to it. I love it.
That's wonderful.
It makes me feel like living down there. It makes me feel like I'm living in a dream.
Yeah.
I walk out and you're literally like,
Yeah, with those marquees and the
Yeah,
chandelier right on
yeah.
Playhouse
Yeah.
Square.
Yeah,
It's absolutely beautiful.
it is. Yeah.
So, what is the biggest misconception people have about working in theater?
Oh, I think I alluded to this before. I think people think working in theatre means you're on stage.
On stage, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to
But
say
if you
that.
think about the mechanics of putting on a show, yes, there are people on stage. There are also people in the pit.
Yeah.
There are people just out of sight, stage managers and dressers and crew and lighting technicians and production. There's so many people. If you think about a show like Hamilton, there's about 20 people on stage and another 60 or 70 backstage.
Backstage.
Yeah.
Wow. Also, it
and you
takes
can't even see that.
it takes a village, first of all, to do all the different themes and the backdrops. I mean, it's so elaborate, like seeing Back to the Future in Cleveland.
Oh, amazing.
I mean, that was
Yeah.
incredible. And
I have to say, though, I quite like that I present shows now. I don't produce shows,
Yeah.
meaning I don't make Back to the Future.
Yeah.
It's made in New York.
New York, you just bring it here.
It brings in. It's been all the challenges.
Challenges has been tested out in New York.
Tested
we just
out
get
in
the
New
final
York. Well,
product.
actually tested out before New York, and then
Right.
actually it came from London. So
Okay. Oh,
it
okay,
would
I
have
didn't
been
know that.
regionally in the UK, then London's West End, and then it would have been regionally in the US, and then Broadway, and then on tour. So by the time the shows come to us, they are, well, I say,
Ready and
tickety-boo.
go.
They are
Yeah.
great and good to go. And that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So walk us through how do you get like a show to be here? How does it end up in Cleveland, or how do you choose which, Broadway tours are cut for Cleveland?
Sure. It's kind of complicated, and it goes back to the size of the theatres and the size of our market. So the first thing to say is that Cleveland's a very important market in what's called the Road, and the Road is the nickname for the touring market of Broadway.
Okay.
So there's Broadway proper, and there's the Road. And actually, the Road is really important to the ecosystem of Broadway. So without the Road, Broadway couldn't survive. Think about it a bit like sort of Paris fashion show. A show like Back to the Future will just keep its head above water on Broadway, financially, I mean,
Okay.
because the capitalization costs are so incredibly high. To make that show costs tens of millions of dollars, and then to run that show costs $1 million a
Millions,
week,
right.
and then you
Wow.
might earn 1.1, 1.2, but you have to return to your investors, you have to return to the
Right, so the
pre-production.
profit margin's very,
Very
slim.
tight, or it's negative. And
Really?
so the Road then squares the circle, if you like.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. So when it comes to the Road, we are, because of the size of our theatres and our audience, what's called a 3-week set down, meaning that most shows do a minimum of 3 weeks. Sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes 6, like The Lion King will do 6 weeks. But a regular show, Kimberly Akimbo just finished, it did 3 weeks. Now, most places in the country are 1 week. So we're a really important market. So
Okay.
we go to New York and see all the musicals, and we talk to the producers and make it clear that we love the show, or maybe the show's not quite for us. And when we look at the show, it's not just whether I like the show or not. That doesn't really matter. It's
the audience.
the audience. It's knowing the Cleveland audience and will this show fly in Cleveland. And also, it's about having a variety of shows. So if you think about our last season,
Lineup, yep.
the lineup is important across the 7 Broadway shows. So we had Kimberly Akimbo, we had Shucked, which is
Yeah, which was
fantastic.
great,
It was
yeah.
great. Then you had Parade, which was
Yeah.
very heartbreaking but brilliant. And then The Life of Pi, which was a play.
Oh, that
but
was
again,
incredible
it was
too. earlier
incredible.
this year. That was here for
That was about 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
But the variety of shows across the season are really important. So, and the show, of course, doesn't just come to Cleveland; it goes all around the country.
Yeah.
So, it's a combination of the show itself is right for our audience. the mix of shows is right for our 7 Key Bank Broadway shows, and the timing works just for when the tour is here to go on to Charlotte or LA.
next, yeah.
And they try to route the tour so it generally starts on the East Coast and
And then
goes.
make its way.
Yeah, it's kind of a logical thing.
Okay.
You can't go Boston,
Right.
LA, Cleveland,
No,
Chicago, Atlanta. You have to kind of, if you can, go that way. So imagine trying to make all those things work. And that's
Is
not
there-
just our job. There are tour bookers and all sorts of people.
Right, and then like it's the role of the show in Broadway. Let's say like Life and Pi. Their team is coordinating with every theater in America to
It's
ensure.
not
right?
the producer. It's a different. There's a whole other group of folks called bookers they're
Okay.
companies and they're very important.
So they're like a third party.
They're a third party, and their
Okay.
whole job is to know us, know the producers. They're the glue between Broadway and the road.
Okay,
and these folk are really important. And
Yeah.
you never see them, but they're backstage.
Okay.
They're behind the scenes, and they are fundamental. So in many ways, we're as close to them as we are to the producers, because if they don't understand what we're after, it's not going to work.
Yeah. So they're like the middleman.
Yeah, yeah. So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Wow, I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, back to the Paris Fashion Show.
Yeah.
Now, if you think that, Back to the Future on Broadway is like the Paris Fashion Show, and the Chanel sunglasses in Nordstrom are like Cleveland. That's where the money. That's where the money
That's
comes
money.
from. Yeah. Same brand, but that's where the money
Wow.
is. Yes. Yes.
That's incredible. That's amazing.
What about Prada?
Same. Yeah. We're a Prada handbag.
So let's talk about, since we're talking about like producing shows, we have to talk about The Outsiders.
Oh yeah, of course.
Which is an incredible musical based on a book that's coming in next spring to
That's
Cleveland.
right. In the next season. Yes.
And not only are we hosting the show, you were a producer, and it won a Tony Award last year in 2024.
It won quite a few Tony
the
Awards.
best musical, and it won the
Yeah.
best musical, right?
Yeah, it won about, I can't remember, but like 5 or 6 Tony Awards, including
Incredible.
Best
Wow.
Musical, which was great. And it's a Cleveland produced show. Now, the
my God,
two
really?
lead producers are from Cleveland. And it's interesting. It actually began its life in La Jolla in San Diego.
Wow.
And it's about an 8-year gestation. I mean, these shows don't just pop up.
Right.
So the 2 producers, or 3 producers actually, would have spoke to the writer who wrote the book. I think you read the book in
I
high
did
school.
read the book in
Yeah.
high school, yes.
And there was a movie by Francis Ford Coppola as well. The very young Tom Cruise
Yeah.
and Matt Damon. And
Yes?
No, Matt Dillon, sorry.
Dillon, yeah.
And so the musical is based on a mashup of the movie and the book.
Okay.
So it's not slavish to either. It's a bit of a mix-up
Okay.
of the two things. And it's a story of, it's a bit like West Side Story, but
Okay,
it's set in Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Right.
It will really chime, and already is chiming, with a sort of late teen, early 20s audience.
Audience,
Yeah. So it finally opened on Broadway, and it won, Best
these
Musical and all these awards, and is doing incredible business. I mean, it's being beaten now by Wicked and Hamilton and maybe
Oh,
Lion
has it
King.
already?
Yeah, it's doing great.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
it's-
incredible. I'm so excited to see it. Obviously haven't
Yeah.
seen the musical just yet, but for people who haven't seen it or haven't read the book, give us the theme
Okay.
without giving away too much.
Yeah, well, I won't tell you the ending, but so it's about these 2, they're not gangs, but they're 2 different groups of young people. And they're both kind of desperate and hopeless in a
Yeah.
way, like they're just stuck in Tulsa.
Right.
One group's called the Greasers because they're young, rough side of the tracks kind of thing. And the lead boy, Pony Boy, is a greaser. And the Socias, which is a nickname for the socialites, are from the other side of town.
Yeah.
But they're
The
not
elite
posh,
group.
kind of, but they're
Okay.
still a bit hopeless. Like they're
Okay.
just neither group is going to leave Tulsa.
Okay.
That's made very clear at the start of the show.
Okay.
And so you watch the machinations of them go through the thing, and there's another guy called Johnny Kay who's Pony Boy's best friend, and they're the 2 leads, and it's really sad. It's just so sad. You just want them to get out of Tulsa and to make something of their lives, and they really want to, but
And it kind of follows their story. On
yeah, it
how-
follows their story, and
And do these groups meet?
they meet and they
Yeah.
have like rumbles like in West Side
Okay.
Story, and the
Yeah.
finale is a big rumble. I won't say what
Okay.
happens, but the staging is phenomenal. There's
can't
one
wait.
scene where there's
A little
fire.
bit of a sneak peek
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, there's a fire, and it's interesting. We saw it in La Jolla, and the fire scene was okay.
Okay.
And we thought, oh, it's not really kind of impactful. But by the time we got to Broadway, the fire scene is overwhelming.
Really?
It's phenomenally
And
good.
are we going to have it replicated?
Absolutely.
Oh, can't
absolutely.
wait.
And then there's
We gotta go see it.
Oh.
you got to see it. There's the scene. There's a big rumble at the end, and the
Okay.
way it's choreographed is so clever. It rains, and there's Oh, it's just brilliant.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
guys.
it's goosebump material.
And it's coming in April.
It's coming in April of next year as part
And
of the season.
are people able to buy tickets this early, or
You can buy tickets. You can buy tickets for the season now.
Okay.
It would it may sell out on subscription.
Okay.
So, of course, I would say buy a season ticket. You
Right,
know what I
of
mean? Because you can
course,
get
yeah.
seven shows. And
this is part of the Broadway
You hear that,
series?
guys?
part of
Buy these tickets.
Buy the
Amazing
parts of
shows
the
are
Key Bank Broadway series. You'll buy 7 tickets, and you won't know all the shows. But I promise you,
gonna love
there's not a
one-
dud.
yeah.
You see shows you mightn't have chosen otherwise.
Yeah.
And like The Great Gatsby is
Yep.
coming, and
The Notebook.
The Notebook.
Oh my God, I'm
That's
so
coming. That's coming soon.
That's
right?
coming very soon.
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen is
Hell's
coming
Kitchen's
at the
coming
end of
right
this
after.
year. What else? Suffs, all about the
Suffs,
suffragette
yep.
movement. Water for Elephants.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a play called Stereophonic with one
Oh
play.
yeah, I've seen that on the list too. Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
that's
it's
coming
a play,
into that's like early next year, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. I should know the date. But it's a play about a super band in the 80s in probably in Laurel Canyon or somewhere, putting out an album. So the whole play is set in a recording studio. And I think it's based on Fleetwood Mac, although you can't say that.
Okay.
And it's all about the sort of social tension and
it's all based in one
psychological.
room?
It's all based in one room.
Oh, that's gonna be
and
wow.
it's just
That's
full
gonna
on.
be-
And they write music for it because they're a band. So it's not a musical, but they sing the songs. And the performers they're not musicians, they're actors, had to learn to play the bass guitar and how to sing and play the drums and the piano.
Oh my god.
Wow.
It's
really
almost like
good.
Choir of Man.
It's almost like Choir of Man. It's as intense as
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's great. So no, I love it. I mean, as I
Yeah.
say, these shows, someone else made them. I just put them on stage.
Yeah.
So
Great.
if you could be in any of these shows, which one would you choose?
Oh my goodness! Well, I probably wouldn't be in The Outsiders because I just think it's so gloomy. But I'd probably be in The Great Gatsby because you want to be
yeah.
Gatsby. It has a big Rolls Royce on stage. I want to be driving that
Driving
Rolls.
out that,
Yeah.
coming out of that Rolls.
Maybe not crashing the way he does, but before he crashes, yeah.
So, do you see Playhouse Square co-producing any more shows for Broadway in the future?
Nora, that's a great question. Yes, I do.
That's
So
exciting.
we managed about a year ago to negotiate. This sounds a bit boring, but it's very important.
Okay.
Okay, so there are tax credit rebates for the film industry
Yes.
already, and we managed to carve out $5 million of that. I think it's $50 million
For the musical
just
plays.
for musicals in Ohio.
Which
really
is a
means-
big deal. I mean, we just had.
It's a big deal,
The Cleveland
yeah.
Film Commission talked about their rebate.
Oh,
for
it's
for
huge.
Superman. And,
it's huge.
yeah.
And because of this rebate, we're able to do one of 3 things. We can incentivize producers to do one of 3 things. The first thing is to do longer runs of shows like The Lion King, which is happening
Yeah.
at some stage in the future because The Lion King, everyone's so popular. And like Wicked would be the same, and Frozen. So these big, very popular musicals can do longer runs, and then they'll receive a rebate, which is great.
Great, yeah.
And the second is if we incentivize producers to open national tours here in Cleveland, they receive a rebate for all the pre-production and so on. And already we have Hell's Kitchen, The Notebook, Spamalot,
They're all
Death
opening.
Becomes a Tina, all opening in Cleveland.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
amazing.
It's amazing. And that's directly because of the tax credit rebate. And then the third, which is the most exciting and the most difficult to pull off, is commissioning a show to begin its life in Cleveland. And then we've got a few discussions happening now for 2 or 3 shows that we hope will begin their life in
Okay.
Cleveland, meaning they'll workshop here,
Written here. Okay.
tested, rehearsed,
That's
played around.
incredible.
They'll go into our Key Bank Broadway series, then go to Broadway.
That's amazing.
So that's the most,
That's
that's,
am-
like
that's-
that's the prize.
That's the
It's in the
prize.
works,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and then the point of why that's important is that when that show, like The Outsiders, wins Best Musical, at the Tony Awards they'll say, and this show began its life at Playhouse Square in Cleveland, Ohio. And that's what we want. We want people to understand how important Playhouse Square is and how great Cleveland is.
Regionally and nationally.
Absolutely, and internationally.
And internationally.
Yeah, that's right.
amazing.
So that's very exciting.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So how do you source like writers, and do you have a team?
Well,
I'm sure
we
you do, right?
generally it's a co-production, so
Okay.
we rely on the producers from
Okay.
Broadway. So we are not an artistic we don't have an artistic director,
Right.
and that's fine. So
Okay.
we would work with producers and say, okay, when you've got the idea, come to us, and we will be a very active partner in providing rehearsal rooms and accommodation and an orchestra and all sorts of things, and they will cast and find the creative team. And usually, something like you've heard of Sunset Boulevard on Broadway, so that has a very strong creative team who are now doing Evita in London. So often, the producers of that show would talk to that director, who would then bring with him or her their designer, choreographer, lighting designer. So these you come with a team because the style of the show is very much the director's vision.
So
and
he will
that's-
handpick his...
Yeah, so
it
they
all
pick
comes-
their folk, and then the director with the producer would usually then do the casting. We wouldn't get involved in the casting, which I'm totally fine about. That's okay.
Yeah, that's
you do all
okay.
that, but just come and rehearse it here.
That's incredible,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's so exciting for Cleveland, guys. So if you haven't, all the listeners who haven't been to Cleveland Square, definitely check out their website for their next upcoming shows. We have the Notebook coming up real quick.
Yeah, Hell's Kitchen,
Hell's
not far
Kitchen,
away. Yeah.
So other than Playhouse Square being a theater company, you guys also own one of the largest, or own the largest portfolio, real estate portfolio downtown Cleveland.
Yeah, I think
How
we
does
do.
your role influence the real estate downtown?
Sure. Well, it kind of happened before my time, obviously.
Yeah.
So there's a fellow called Art Falco, who's a legend. I mean, Art
Yep.
was working, he was doing my role for
Yeah.
like 40 years. And Art gradually acquired more buildings, like the Crown Plaza Hotel. They built the Lumen, they owned a lot of the office buildings and so on. And it wasn't that Playhouse Square was actively wanting to be a property developer or a property owner. It just was like the buyer of last resort. So I'd lived opposite the Marquise is the Hannah building, and it was for sale. Now, we kind of had to own that building.
Yeah.
And the Crown Plaza,
Crown
similarly.
Plaza, yeah, it's all
it's
in
just
the-
really important to secure the asset.
Yeah.
When you heard about the Greyhound
Really
bus station.
bridge the gap in that area.
Yeah. And buying the Greyhound bus station was also a defensive strategy to make sure that it didn't become something else. So that was part of that. So we now own about 2.5 million square feet of real estate.
Wow,
Which is
that's amazing.
Great.
Phenomenal.
Crazy.
Yeah, but the great thing about that is we can control the destination and district of Playhouse Square. We control the food and beverage. We control the streetscape. The mayor loves us. We love the mayor.
Yeah.
And
Shout out.
Shout out
Mayor
to the
Bibb.
mayor. Mayor Bibb, what a legend. He's brilliant. He totally gets it. And he has a great team behind him as well. So that real estate portfolio, it's not to make money. Like, we're a not-for-profit, so
Yeah.
we don't buy these things to make a profit. We don't want to lose money.
Right.
Yeah.
But our primary focus is creating a personality and a DNA, which is Playhouse Square. And again, I look around other arts districts in the country, nobody really has that kind of power because they don't control all the buildings in their neighborhood.
right.
Yeah. We don't own them all, but we own
Most
the
of them.
lion's share.
That's
We own
amazing,
most of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your vision for Playhouse Square in the next 5 to 10 years?
Great question. Well, so I mentioned the Greyhound bus station.
Yeah.
So buying that building, which is on the north
That
side
would
of
be
our
good.
campus, that'll be great. And it's a beautiful building. So first of all, we're not going to knock it down. We're going to restore it to its original glory. It's a deco building. It's
beautiful.
And that will anchor a whole new expansion on the north side of Playhouse Square. So we want to hopefully add some more green space, add more outdoor activations, maybe close some streets with the help of Mayor Bibb,
Okay.
and make it more pedestrian friendly. So
Yeah.
make it safe and friendly, active. So parties in the summer,
fun.
alleyways with tequila bars. Just
That would be
really,
so
it'd be so
fun, yeah.
fun. Yeah, and
We
I
love
think-
tequila.
we love tequila and gin. But the main thing is changing the focus from it just being a place where you go and park your car and see a show and jump in your car and drive away to a place where you come down on spec. And I call it grazing. It's where you come to graze. So you think, what are we going to do tonight? Oh, let's go to Playhouse Square. We'll just park our car or take a bus or just wander down. And as you mentioned, we've got 20-something thousand residents right downtown.
Yeah.
So make it a bit of a place where you might just pop down,
And just have a drink.
have a drink. But you need a critical mass of bars, music clubs, outdoor venues, that kind of thing.
Really keep-
so
yeah.
yeah,
I really like
that's where we're
that.
heading. Yeah.
And I like that. I think Cleveland needs that for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And I think
know?
the important point as well is I don't want to do this to cannibalize other parts of Cleveland. So it's going to be unique and not like the Flats and not like West 25th and not like University Circle. I really want it to complement rather than compete
Yeah.
with other neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So whatever mood you're in, you might want to go to Little Italy or Playhouse Square
That's great.
or the Flats.
Have its own character.
Have its own character.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's already a big chandelier, so you
Yeah.
can guess the kind of
Right,
character we're after.
Right,
I love
exactly.
it.
We're after like
Big and
velvet,
glamorous.
yeah, glamorous velvet booths and
Yeah.
jazz and smoky, not actual smoke, smoky vibe.
Right.
Late night,
Very moody and
moody, Lower East Side kind of feel.
love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
It'd be great. Yeah. So watch this space for that. Yeah.
So what's one tradition from your time overseas, back to that, you'd love to bring to Playhouse Square?
The first thing I noticed, I lived in London for a long time, and London's, it's a busy city and so on, but I had a car. I rarely drove in London because it was it just was
Nobody
really
drives in
no one
Europe.
drives because it's hard. You can't
Right,
park and so
yeah.
on. And the public transport's really good. I would love to create that kind of vibe in downtown, not just Playhouse Square, but Cleveland. I know people love their cars, and Cleveland's more spread out and so on. But if you could have places where people could park and then just forget the car and just wander around, jump on a trolley or just walk safely,
love
securely,
that.
wouldn't it be great?
Great.
Oh
Maybe
my
have
God,
more
I love
trolleys
that.
downtown.
More trolleys would be
Yeah.
good. I mean, the RTA are very on board for
Yeah.
this kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And, you know, the RTA bus goes right along Euclid Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
People go, oh, that's what a shame. And it's like, no, that's an opportunity. That's great. There are plenty of European cities where you have trolley cars and trams going right through public
and forth, yep.
squares. And if you're driving a bus, you're very aware of pedestrians.
Mm-hmm.
So if Euclid Avenue, imagine Euclid Avenue, this is probably controversial to say, but, you know, you love controversy in the
Yeah, it's
podcast.
Unfiltered Brew.
Unfiltered,
No,
right?
that's okay.
Bring on the
Unfiltered.
controversy.
Imagine if we closed Euclid Avenue from maybe East 9th
Okay.
to
17th.
17th to private vehicles, and it was only Ubers, taxis, and buses.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be, I mean, then you could walk. It'd be like a boulevard.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea because think about it. Between East 9th and 17th, you have just residential buildings, Playhouse Square.
that's
And the
right.
small local businesses who probably have their own personal parking. Like it would be just
Yeah, they can
only
still
for
access
the
the back
yeah.
for loading and so on and so on. And
That would
maybe,
actually-
maybe in the morning you have it open from 5 to 7 for deliveries, whatever else.
yeah.
But it'd be lovely. And then you'd have a massive, it'd be like the Ramblas in
Yeah.
Barcelona, a boulevard for
People to walk,
perambulating.
yeah.
You know, it'd be lovely.
that.
It'll drive so
Yeah.
many people to come over there, encourage
we'd-
people to walk.
We'd program it, have music outside, and
You have that crowd also, like not to forget, Cleveland State is just a block.
Absolutely.
The building right next, like over from
yeah.
Playhouse Square. It starts from
Yeah.
17th through 30th, and
That's
we have
right,
that
yeah.
huge audience of
wonderful.
newcome young
Yeah.
people who probably haven't never been to Playhouse Square,
Yeah.
honestly, because I went to Cleveland State and never stepped foot in, until I graduated.
That's
and
it.
Yeah.
And I think it would also solve that thing we talked about at the top of this show about not feeling welcome. If the marquees were in the middle of this very public welcoming space, and the marquee and the doors of the theaters were open, you think, well, wander in, have a
Yeah.
drink at that bar, and so on
Yeah.
and so on. Yeah.
And now
Why
you have
not?
a new coffee shop in there.
Absolutely,
Right through,
and
was
a
it-
great bar.
Yeah,
and
Grass
soon
And we went to the bar. They have
Yeah.
the
amazing
bar's
cocktails,
good.
by the way.
And soon we'll do a plug for Encore.
Encore, yeah,
Opening
shout
another
out to
bar.
a bar.
Fabulous. A bar's opening a fantastic,
That's
smart.
going to be beautiful.
That's
that
going to be
place.
beautiful.
I
Encore
mean,
is going
I
to be a
can't
very
wait to-
chic bar.
Yeah, I can't wait to sit there with my Cosmo and enjoy all the marquee lights.
Exactly.
We're not going to get into it too much, but
That's all coming.
It's all
Yeah.
coming. We're going to have
Yeah.
a special episode for that, too.
Oh yeah, that's a good
about-
idea.
yeah.
But it's not all about bars. We sound like alcoholics. There's also coffee shops and
Coffee shops and baked
restaurants
goods
and baked
and
goods
restaurants,
and
yeah.
fresh flowers.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's all gonna be
And I think the important thing is all the things that I'm planning to do are not just for theater goers. I love the theater goers, but the residents
for Cleveland,
for
yeah.
Cleveland.
Yeah, and
It's
that's what I
people
love
who-
about Playhouse Square Foundation. You guys
Yeah.
are a real estate, amazing real estate portfolio who are trying to cater and bring everyone together in downtown Cleveland, not
Totally.
just for the theater. That's what's
Yeah, and all
really
this,
nice.
it's not commercially advantageous. We're not going
Yeah.
to make more money out of
Yeah.
this, but it's something, it's giving back to Cleveland and helping the city and just being part of the bigger sell to get Cleveland on the map. Yeah.
It's incredible, and that's why we're doing this podcast too, right?
Exactly.
change the perspective of people so people aren't like, oh my God, I got to go to Cleveland. Like, I want to go to Cleveland.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
going to book that first flight and you're going to go to Playhouse Square and you're going to see a show.
Totally.
And
it's
you're
funny,
going to love
you
it.
talk about the perception. Once I got here,
Yeah.
then I heard the perception of people like, oh, what'd you come here for? I was like, why? What are you talking
Yeah.
about? People who are from here, particularly, it seems to me, have this really low opinion of the city of Cleveland. And
They carry that. chip
It's
on their
underrated.
shoulder.
I don't get it. Like, where does that come from? It's such a beautiful city. It's on a lake. There's tons of parks. It's easy, there's no traffic. Easy to get around. There's great neighborhoods.
We got
What's
all
not to
four
love?
seasons, and every
All four
season there's always
seasons.
something going
Yeah.
on. They always try to like make it warm. Like, Christmas, you have all these Christmas bars.
Yeah.
Halloween, all these
Well, and right
places.
now, the
yeah.
summer, no one ever told me the summers were lovely. They all
Summers
said,
are
everyone said,
stunning here,
the winters are terrible. The lake freezes over. It's like, wow, that's fine. Does it snow? Oh, I love snow. And the summer's beautiful.
Yeah, summer is so nice here.
I secretly love snow too.
So if you had to describe Cleveland to your friends and family overseas who have never visited Cleveland, how do you describe it in 3 words?
Oh, gosh. Only 3 words?
Maybe, okay,
Okay, I'll try and
Yes.
do 3. Friendly, cultural, fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Because people from here are so friendly and
Extremely
disarmingly
friendly.
friendly.
Yeah.
That's
Coming
not the
from
first time I hear
London,
that.
where people, they're kind of friendly, but the British are a little bit reserved.
Yeah.
And my sister lived in California for a long time, and visiting her, people were very friendly, but it was very insubstantial. They'd say, "Hey, we must catch up." You'd never hear from them again. Yeah, she's Australian. She's like, "I don't understand what's going on." Here, people say, "Let's catch up," and they go, "Are you free next Wednesday for a barbecue at my house?" "Oh, okay. Or come out in my boat."
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It is, and they're not hokey. They're not parochial.
Yeah.
People here travel. You guys travel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very good dynamic, and people are genuinely friendly. They're proud of the city, but not to the exclusion of other cities. They don't say it's the best city in the country.
Oh, no,
They say no, it's a
there's
great
Cleveland
city.
pride exists, but within ourselves,
Yeah.
and
Totally, yeah.
we don't try to
agree.
compete here.
No,
we're not trying to
It
compete.
just here's Cleveland.
Here's
Take
Cleveland,
it
take it or leave it.
Cleve or
Cleave or
leave.
leave.
We're like, look at your shirt. I love it.
I know.
love the
Cleve
shirt.
or leave. Look at that.
Love it.
That was given to you by a. social
So we're going to
influencer.
play a little game. And
Sure.
it's going to be like rapid questions.
Oh,
so we're both
gosh,
going to
okay.
ask you a few questions here. So first Broadway show you've ever saw.
Les Miserables.
One thing on your bucket list.
Travel to Ecuador.
Oh.
Favorite Cleveland food spot?
Amber.
Oh, that's a great one.
Ooh, that is beautiful in
beautiful.
there. Best seat in the Playhouse Square Theater.
Every seat.
Great answer. The right answer.
Who would play in the movie of your life?
Oh, Tom Hanks.
Oh, love it. Oh, I could see that.
There you go.
I could see that. Musical you've seen more than twice.
Hamilton.
Oh,
Dream celebrity to host at Playhouse Square.
Okay, you say dream, so Joan Rivers. She's passed away,
yes,
but
she's passed
she's
away.
so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
One word to describe Cleveland's art scene.
Spectacular.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you weren't in the theater job, what would you be doing and what would you want to do if this wasn't your job?
I can't imagine. Not in the theatre world.
Working in finance.
Yeah, I'd probably be a lawyer or something. I mean, that's so depressing to even
Yeah,
imagine.
right.
I just couldn't imagine. I've had so long to think about other careers.
Never once.
Never once.
Once, yeah.
And I haven't really applied for a job. I just keep, these jobs fall into my lap, kind of, and I think, oh, opera? Okay. Ballet? Oh, okay.
Speak of that, and I have to say, because I've known you now for like about 2 years, and I must say to everybody listening, your presence and your attitude, your aura is so positive and
Nora.
uplifting.
It really is.
It is
really
so
is.
contagious. I just want to know, how do you stay so like positive constantly in such a it could be like a high stress role. How do you do it?
Oh, gosh, I think,
If you had one piece of advice you can give to our listeners.
yeah, I think go for a walk. Because
We've been
We've been walking
seriously, when I was in London, I lived about 40 or 50 minutes from the Royal Albert Hall, and I'd often walk to work, and that was quite a high-stress job.
Yeah.
I have to say, my job now, zero stress. It's lovely. Best job I've ever had in my life.
I love that for
And
you.
I'd walk to work, and whatever the problem was, I would have it solved by the time I walked through the doors of the Royal Albert Hall. Just clearing your head, listening to a podcast or some music or nothing, walking, it just gets things sorted.
Yeah.
You get stuff sorted
That's
out
so
in your
true,
head.
yeah.
It's true. That's my
A friend
my
told me
suggestion.
once, if you're standing up and you get stressed out, sit down. And if you find yourself seated, stand up.
Yeah, I've heard swimming also.
Yeah.
I have good friends that swim, and they say swimming also, it's very meditative and,
Yeah.
and walking the same. So, yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay, guys, go for your walks.
Wow.
Go for a walk.
God.
Listen to this on your walk.
Listen to this on your walk,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Well, Craig, this was really amazing. So where could people find more about Playhouse Square to grab tickets? And
Oh, just very simple. I mean, Instagram or Facebook, so on and so on, or online, the old-fashioned way, playhousesquare.org. Everything you need. Come and see a show. If just pick a show you've never heard of, and not even a Broadway show. Come and see Great Lakes, Cleveland Playhouse, the ballet, as you said.
Cleveland Ballet, yep.
They just do wonderful things. So just come and check out Playhouse Square. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
I love it.
We love how you're bringing world-class performances and, of course, the Tony Award-winning ones. And we can't wait to see what's coming for
I
Cleveland.
can't
Great.
wait.
You'll
Thank you
love
so
it.
much.
You'll
Thank you
love
for
it.
being part of Unfiltered Brew.
Pleasure. Thank you both.
Thank you, guys.
And to our listeners, thank you for listening, and see you next week on another Unfiltered Brew pod.
Don't forget to subscribe and like and share and leave us a comment. Can't wait to see you guys soon.
And make sure you attend a show. We love Playhouse Square and Craig and everybody.
Shout out to Craig and the entire Playhouse Square organization.
Bye. Till next
Bye.
time. Ciao.
Bye.